and welcome to our Kids Edition. It's season 4, week 7, and we have a special show for you guys today. So here's our agenda. This week's topic is celebrating our veterans. Today's guest is VIP special guest. Closing remarks will be featuring our Kids Edition panel and our guests. And the sponsor is The Color of Life. So here's our Kids Edition panel. We have Ava B., Elizabeth Kennedy, and me, your host, Lauren Olivia. Without further ado, here's our special guest today. He is Petty Officer Demetrius Harvey. Let's give him a warm Our Kids Edition welcome. Hi!
Hello.
Thank you so much for coming on to the show today.
Well, I'm glad to be here.
Well, we're definitely glad because we're about to have some fun today. So now I'm handing the mic over to Elizabeth Kennedy.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the bio of Officer Demetrius Harvey. He attended Lamar High School and graduated in 1988. He also attended Texas Southern University as biology pre-med student. He joined the U.S. Navy December 4th, 1996. He served our country for 6 years as a combat medic. He's currently employed with the Houston VA hospital, and we thank you for your service.
Well, I thank you.
And now it's time for Kennedy Corner, and we'll be saying some fun facts. So, your favorite things. His favorite color is black and navy blue. His favorite food is whiting fish. Never heard of that before. His favorite vacation spot is South Padre Island. Favorite subject is science. His favorite dessert is bean pie. And his favorite car is Infiniti Q50S. I think I said that right.
What's a bean pie?
Bean pie is made with the same ingredients that a sweet potato pie, pumpkin pie, but it uses navy beans. And it's healthy and better than anything you could ever imagine.
That's interesting. I've never heard of that before. What's
You'll
whiting
make
fish?
us one time.
Whiting fish is it's a freshwater fish, and it's actually the proper fish that we need to be eating, no more than 14 pounds. And typical fillet is about 4 to 6 ounces. I have a knack of making it better than anything. I used to run a fish market, became acquainted, and I absolutely love it.
Well, you have to make me some because I love some fish. I will definitely try it.
I will.
So now it's time for today's focus. So today's focus is the power of freedom and celebrating our veterans. So there's so many viewers that are watching our show. And my question to you is, can you please explain your duties while serving?
I graduated boot camp in February of 97. And then I went to hospital corpsman school where I learned how to do my job. After I graduated from there, I went to another school we call Field Medical Service School. That's where I learned emergency medicine, and I learned Marine Corps history and customs because that's who I was going to be working with. So my duties, basically, I would call myself a people mechanic, and I worked on the greatest machine you could ever work on, is the human body. And my job is to save. My job is to protect. My job is to provide medical care to not only to our service members, but I also have to provide medical care to our enemies as well. The same level of care that I have to provide for our veterans, I have to provide for the enemy as well. My other job is I have to brave the bullets, I have to brave the bombs, and I have to go and retrieve my service members And when I say service members, that would include foreign military as well. I have to go out on that battlefield, save them, and bring them back. And then my other duty is to defend, because if we're out in the field, we build a hospital, a rapid deployment hospital, and we try to bring it as close to the battle, but without being in harm's way. So when you medevac somebody out of the field, which means you bring them on a helicopter or whatever vehicle we have to transport the injured, we have to it takes we need to be there in 6 minutes.
Wait, so I have a question. So, you know, you were talking about being able to impact so many people and save many lives. So, what did that feel like to be able to help so many people?
I worked in hospitals and clinics, and that's what we man. So it's two aspects of it. It's one of the most diverse jobs in the military as far as what you do, because it's not just one thing we do; it's many things we do. Like I have to provide medical coverage for like if they want to go rappel off the side of a mountain, I have to be there. And what injuries could occur are back injuries, leg injuries. So I have to jump off the side of the mountain too. Then when I land on the ground, I don't get a chance to rest, because then I have to go do my job, and that's checking everybody for injuries. So
Okay. Well, I think that's good to be able to make such an impact on people and to be able to save so many lives. So, on behalf of our Kids Edition talk show, we thank you for your service.
God bless America, and I thank you.
So now I'm handing it over to my co-host, Abe.
So this is Kids Point of View featuring me. So our Kids Edition would like to encourage kids around the world to get involved in understanding our U.S. military. We are using our platform to help kids understand the value of exploring and experiencing new interests. We suggest kids talk to your parents, teachers, family, and friends about different causes that make a difference in the world and your communities. Kids have an opinion about the importance of our veterans, and today we salute you. Simply from a kid's point of view.
Hey, couldn't say it better myself. So, since this is a kids talk show, what we definitely like to do is have a little fun. So, this is game time. So, our game today is Would You Rather? And I think you're going to enjoy this because we have some good questions that are fun for the amazing holiday that's coming up, which is Thanksgiving. So, we're going to be asking you some questions, and this is kind of get you in a thankful spirit, but also see a little scary stuff because some of the questions are like, ooh. So, I think you're definitely going to enjoy it.
Okay.
So all you have to do is answer the questions in 1 minute, which I think you can do because many guests have been able to do it. So are you ready?
All right.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Elizabeth, go.
Eat pumpkin pie or peach cobbler.
Peach cobbler.
Turn into turkey or ham.
Turkey.
Eat moldy candy or kiss a toad.
That's hard, but
moments later.
kiss a toad.
Swim with sharks or pigeons.
Penguin?
Swim with sharks or what?
Penguin?
Penguins? Penguins.
Ride on a zip line or walk on fire?
Zip line.
Trick or treat in the forest or a dark alley?
Yeah, it don't matter.
Member of the Brady Bunch or Addams Family?
Well, that's interesting because I watched both when I was a child. It doesn't matter. It doesn't.
Mr. Demetrius, you have to choose one.
Well, Addams Family, because I like Grandpa's dragster.
Sing in the shower or in the rain?
The rain.
Be scared or scare someone?
Scare someone.
Would you rather go on a date or trick or treat?
Date.
Go to the moon or desert?
The moon.
Ooh, you just beat the timer. That was a close one. That was like right there. But Mr. Demetrius, why were you taking so long to pick the answers? You said it doesn't matter.
Well, see, I was in military mode, so it wouldn't matter. So if you throw those challenges, it wouldn't matter which challenge. I'll do it. I'll come out on top.
Okay, but real question. Trick or treat in the forest or the dark alley? Because you said it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
But if you had to pick one.
If I had to pick one, dark alley.
Okay. I was just curious.
But I like the woods too, so I mean.
So now it's time for Take the Mic. It's our Kids Edition panel who will ask questions to our guests. So I'm going to go first. So my first question to you is, there are many career options. What made you choose the military?
Well, I needed to get out of Houston, Texas. And because life, I couldn't, I was tired of working dead end jobs. And so I joined and left. And when I joined the Navy, I also wanted to be a medic. So the Navy wasn't my first choice. It was also the Army, but at the time the Army wasn't taking medics. So I joined the Navy and got what I wanted.
So did you just like go automatically out of not high school, out of college, or did you just like wait a couple years and then went?
I waited. I was 26. That's considered old. It's really not old, but that's considered old when you join. And because I didn't join out of high school, which they would prefer because you're more of a moldable person, and I was already grown. So, but I mean, I was held to a higher standard because of my age, and I had to learn just like everybody else. But I was also often entrusted with duties that were above my rank.
Well, that's awesome. Wait, so what would be your second option?
What would be my second option?
Mm-hmm. Well, like if you weren't to be in the military.
Well, I always, like I said, I always wanted to be a doctor, and that dream got the door closed on that dream only because of money. And so, and then I know how to drive 18-wheelers, so I love that too.
Well, I mean, you got to help people, and you got to drive 18-wheelers. Okay, well, you just taught me something new. You get in trouble. So you just taught me something new. And then this is my bonus question, because there, to me, are so many people who would love to join the military. So what advice or tips would you give to someone who's interested in joining?
It's not for everybody, but sitting at home, working dead-end jobs, may not work for you. So therefore, you join, you're 18, 19 years old. Now the pay is double what I made back when I was on active duty. So to get out of Houston, but we all know that when you join the military, there's also the possibility of going to war. Now, you may end up on the front line, but you may end up in the rear. You may not even never go to war. You may be back stateside supporting the war effort. So, but if you have to go to war, then you have to go do your job. And I know what my job is. And that means I have to go get onto that battlefield or whatever aspect that I may be involved in. So, but sitting at home, not doing anything, halfway in trouble, halfway out of trouble. You know, why would you want to do that? So, you know, of course, you have to take orders, you have to follow rules, but you have to follow rules in everyday life too. So, therefore, you know, you have to make a decision. You know, sometimes you may have to make a decision, and, you know, it's best to be out on your own in the world. I mean, it took me before I had to go, what we call the fleet. So I went in December 96. I went to 8 weeks of boot camp. Then I left for my hospital corpsman school in San Diego. It took me pretty much almost a year before I made it to my first duty station, which was in Japan, Okinawa, Japan. So for other jobs, it can be a lot quicker, but for my job, it took almost a year.
Dang. Well, I know we mentioned this earlier, but again, thank you so much for your service. It means a lot because to have so many people fight for your life every day and to be able to live in such a great country, I just have to say thank you. Okay, well, thank you so much for answering all my questions. And now I'm handing it over to Elizabeth.
Hi, and again, thank you for your service. What qualification do you have to have in order to be a member of the United States Navy?
Well, it's that's the broader part of that question is all branches of service. So you got it's not just the Navy, it's the Army, the Air Force, and the Marines. It's the same qualifications. You have to meet height and weight standards. You have to take a ASVAB test. So they're looking at your high school grades. But in the past, you had some members join the military because they got in too much trouble, in and out of trouble, stealing, not doing something that was necessarily going to get them a lot of jail time, but then at the same time, something that could actually hinder their life. So you have military service members come into the military by way of being in trouble with the law. But you have to take the ASVAB test, which they test your aptitude. It covers a broad range of subjects, science, mechanical. Let me remember. Those are the main two. They test you on a wide range of things, and based upon your score, they offer you certain jobs. So if you score low, you're going to get the basic job, which is general infantry. In the Navy, that would be a boatswain's mate on a ship, where you have to clean the ship, you have to paint the ship, and do the general maintenance of the ship.
Well, thank you for answering that question. And the next one, how do you celebrate Veterans Day?
They offer discounts to various eating places, so you might go out to eat. Today, my Dallas Cowboys are playing, so I would definitely want to be able to catch some of the game, but I sacrificed some of that time to be with you guys today. And I mean, it's a day to be proud, but the most important military holiday that we actually need to celebrate is Memorial Day. And the history of Memorial Day goes back to slavery and the Civil War, and that's how Black people celebrated their fallen heroes. They're fighting for our freedom. And then it was adopted by the United States. But the origin of Memorial Day was to celebrate our fallen soldiers. So that's the most important of holidays for the military. And Veterans Day is it celebrates our military, without question, but because in the month of October, we have the birthdays. The oldest branch of military services, the Army, the Navy, and the Marines, and the Air Force is our youngest branch. But now we have the Space Force, which is attached to the Air Force. The Navy has it's a special branch of service that studies the oceans and the life and the sea life in the oceans. That's attached to the Navy. So that's not, and then your astronauts are naval, Marine, Army. Air Force. But see, in World War II, the Air Force was part of the Army. Yeah, so it didn't become its standalone branch of service until after World War II.
Well, thank you for answering both of my questions. And now I'm handing the mic over to Ava.
My first question to you is, well, it's actually two parts. So, while you were in the Navy, did you see any of your fellow shipmates injured or hurt? If so, how has that changed your viewpoint of the world? If not, what are your thoughts of the current wars?
Okay. Yeah, I've seen our service members, some of our service members injured. I've also had to treat our service members because I'm trained to do minor surgeries. I've worked, like I said, I worked in hospitals and clinics, so I've seen our service members. One service member had kidney stones, and that's when you drink too much like soda water, dark soda water, processed foods that's high in salt content and things of that nature, and your body forms kidney stones. And I've seen service members crying, hurting, but on an average, I've treated 35 to 42 patients a week. The unique thing about that was because I was the same age as the doctors, and when all the doctors I worked with found out that I wanted to be a doctor, they started showing me a lot of the things that they knew. So I used to run what is called sick call. So when a service member comes into our clinic, I've had to treat them. I've had to treat them at night, after hours, with a doctor on call. So, and then on a somber note, because we also do a lot of safety training. We get a lot of training in suicide. So one of my best friends on active duty committed suicide, and that was a thing that really changed me and riveted me. It also angered me too, and he killed himself. So, and that happens a lot in the military. It's suicide prevention is a big thing amongst the military, all branches. It doesn't just affect one branch of service over another. It's a rough thing, and because when you serve in the military, you build bonds and friendships, and they just don't go away. You just don't stop being a friend just because you're not in the military anymore. So I have quite a few buddies that I do keep in contact with. You live all your life, say here in Houston, and then you you go and join the military and then you go off wherever. You know, for me, it was California. And I met quite a few people. And that continued until the day I got out the military.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss and thank you for your service. And I give you my condolences. So my second question to you is, how did you tell your family and friends that you were joining the military?
I just left. To be honest with you, I just left. I didn't leave. It was rough. I went through a rough patch in my life. I did go to a party. So a lot of guys in the neighborhood that I grew up with, I grew up around the TSU, Texas Southern area of town. And so I went to a party and I said my goodbyes there to those that I wanted to say goodbye to. To everybody else, I just left.
Well, thank you for answering all of my questions, and I'm handing the mic back over to Lauren.
Well, thank you for answering everyone's questions. And now it's time for closing remarks. So thank you to my co-hosts, Elizabeth Kennedy and Ava B, for those amazing questions. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. And thank you to our wonderful guests and our wonderful panel. So, Mr. Demetrius, how do you think the show went?
Oh, the show was awesome. It was awesome. It was first class. I felt like I was no different than being on the Jimmy Kimmel Show or any other major talk show, Arsenio Hall, Kids Edition.
I feel honored. So this is our time to let you shine. So what we're going to do is you get to talk about anything that's upcoming with you, anything that's interesting to get our audience pumped and to let them know a little bit more about you. So take it away, Mr. Demetrius.
Towards the end of my military career, I got involved in physical therapy. And taking care of yourself is always the number one,
Well, I will definitely take care of myself. I'm going to keep my body up. It's because I am an athlete, so that's important too. Like you said.
It makes it easier, but
Yeah. Eating healthy is good for you. Eat your vegetables, kids. So this is our season 4 sponsor. Tune in, tell a kid, and tell your parents. It's www.colorlifeyouth.org, www.colorlifeyouth.org. And you probably want some background information, so I'm about to give it to you. So the Color of Life Youth Center is an emerging nonprofit organization established in 2009. Their sole purpose is to serve and foster at-risk youth in low economic communities by providing programs and activities. So take it away, Ava.
So make sure you like, follow, subscribe, and comment down below your favorite part of the show. And make sure you send us your 1-minute video explaining why you think you'd be a great guest co-host on our Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. And make sure you go to our website, www.arcsedition.com. One more time for the post, www.arcsedition.com.
And with that being said,
so as you know, this month is November. So in November, it is National Homeless Youth Awareness Month. As many as 2.5 million youth per year experience homelessness. So our source is www.nctsn.org, www.nctsn.org. And Our Kids Edition supports the fight against homelessness. Please visit us at www.arcsedition.com. One more time, www.arcsedition.com. And donate.
So with that being said, we have some merch, and as you know, we got the shirts, we got the water bottles, we have the hats, we have anything you can think of. So I would definitely go to our website and try it out. And look at these. These are amazing. Yes, they're one of a kind because they're our Kids Edition brand. And we also have mugs, pins, hoodies, t-shirts, hats, and anything pretty much. So I would check it out, and don't forget, it's on sale. So make sure everyone can hear it. It's www.ourkidsedition.com. www.ourkidsedition.com. What is it called, Mr. Demetrius?
OurKidsEdition.com.
So signing off until next week from Elizabeth Kennedy, Ava B, and me, your host, Lauren Olivia. Hasta la vista, everybody. Bye.